Hello, it's me, French Ted, and we are here. Oh, it's been a long one, hasn't it? We are here for episode number 83, I believe it is, and we are at the final night, night 12 of the All In Grand Prix. This is the decider. We obviously know that Volta is going to the final in Block A, but tonight is the decider in Block B. It could be any of Keith Lee, Kenny Omega, and Jon Moxley. One of those men will face Volta in the Grand Prix Final. So yeah, the rules of tonight, there's no exhibition match. Everyone is having their final block match tonight. But before I continue, just remembered, there's one thing I wanted to point out. And the trouble with bulk recording is I'm sure that someone in the comment section has highlighted this to me at some point. If not, shame on all of you as well. But way back when, I think it was night 2 or night 3, Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Will Ospreay. But we never recorded that on the chart, on the standings. It was never recorded on my spreadsheet that I've been using and trying to stick to as well as possible. It wasn't until I booked this final night that I was like, hold on, why is there a gap? So Zack Sabre Jr. is actually on 10 points now, not 8 points. That will be reflected in the final standings of this episode. Obviously, it might be more or less. Well, it won't be less, it'll be more or the same, depending on if he wins his final match. But yeah, sorry, Zack. You've actually done even better than we all thought you had. So, congrats, my dude. But that doesn't really matter. Zack Sabre Jr. is in Block A, which means, his win doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, let's just lay down what could happen tonight. So, if Jon Moxley wins and Kenny Omega loses, Jon Moxley is the winner of Block B. If Keith Lee wins and Kenny Omega loses, Keith Lee goes through based on the head-to-head because they'll be on equal points. If Kenny Omega draws or wins, he is the winner of Block B. Because if he draws and Jon Moxley wins, then I believe they're on the same points. But the head-to-head means that Kenny Omega wins, because I believe Kenny beat Jon Moxley. I should really know that. Yeah, no, he did, yeah. Did he? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Sure. But yeah, that's the lay of the land. And of course, Keith Lee and Jon Moxley are facing each other tonight. So there's no what ifs of, Jon Moxley loses, Kenny loses, and Keith Lee wins. Because if Keith Lee wins, that means that Jon Moxley loses. Our main event tonight is Kenny Omega's match, because, we want to leave that till the end. He is facing off against Jeff Cobb, Mr. Inform, apparently. Although he has been on one hell of a losing streak. So it'll be incredibly surprising if Cobb manages to do something in that match. I'm being honest. But early on in the night, we will have that Keith Lee, Jon Moxley, which, will just kind of add a layer of, ooh, what's going to happen to the main event. But yeah, everyone has their final block match tonight. No exhibition match, just a shit ton of one-on-ones. Oh, it's been a long one. I hope fatigue doesn't fuck over this final night. I'm very excited. And then, of course, the All In Grand Prix Final will be next Sunday, in game time, obviously. So we've got Collision tomorrow, we'll have Dynamite next week, another Collision, and then it will be the Grand Prix Final. Yet to decide whether the next episodes are going to be standalone Dynamite and Collisions. I might keep them like that, just for now, until we get to the Grand Prix Final, and then the episodes will go back to their usual thing. I'm not too sure what day this episode lands on, because I don't want this to just stop on a Tuesday and then us just jump to Friday. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather it end on a Friday or something. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. But that's the intro and everything done. The apologies for the Zack Sabre Jr. fuck up. But we are here. And for the penultimate time, I'd say, because I'll have these three at the Grand Prix Final in the pre-show too. Renee, RJ, and Paul are here. They are our pre-show broadcasting team, chatting about what they think is going to happen. Renee obviously is going to back her boy Moxley. RJ City says, you can't look past Kenny Omega. And Paul White agrees. He says, even though I think that Keith Lee has been incredible during this tournament, can't see Kenny losing in the main event. So that's their opinions. Let me know your opinions below. And yeah, let's just dive straight into the show. Oh, and we kick off with a banger, an 88, in an exceptional match. Volta defeats CM Punk in 60 minutes with a lariat. Just a simple lariat. An 88 rating here. CM Punk losing after getting a 97 rated performance. Punk has been incredible since joining this Grand Prix tournament. He's getting the numbers. He may not be getting all the wins, but he's definitely getting the numbers. But Volta has, he's done it. Perfect record. He's got the full 18 points, I believe it is. And after 9 matches, 18 points. So, hats off to Volta. Whoever it is that faces him in the final has an incredibly tough task. But Punk said he was going to win this for Jay White, and unfortunately, he did not. So, starting off the show with, obviously, our A block winner, Volta. So, congratulations to that man. Let's continue with the next match. And it is that decider in a bout that had superb wrestling, apparently, even though it got a shitting 82, and great heat. It's Jon Moxley that gets the win. He defeats Keith Lee in 17 minutes with the Bulldog choke. But during the match, though, he got a little bit of help from his Combat Club teammate, Zack Sabre Jr., who is in action next, where he ran in and he attacked Keith Lee, helping Jon Moxley get that win. What a teammate, what a lad. Good old Zack Sabre Jr. Keith Lee with a 90, Jon Moxley with an 88. And yeah, apparently, a bit of lack of psychology, which is fair enough. An 82 though, that's poor. What happened in this one? Fatigue? Let me guess. Fatigue? Penalised for fatigue and lack of psychology. Okay, Moxley fatigued, not Keith Lee. Interesting. But post-match, Keith Lee is not happy, and he has just targeted Zack Sabre Jr. and beaten the living life out of him. He's thrown him over the barricade into the crowd. He's pummeled the life out of Zack Sabre. Zack Sabre Jr. is literally being ragdolled right now. Didn't expect Keith Lee to jump back to life after the Bulldog choke and completely decimate him. Keith Lee then drags Zack Sabre Jr.'s beaten and battered body into the ring, because obviously up next it is Zack Sabre Jr.'s final match, and he is facing Bandido. And in a bout that had great wrestling apparently and a decent reaction from the crowd, Bandido took advantage of that beatdown and got his first physical win. It took 12 nights, but Bandido gets his first real win because his previous 2 points were from the Juice Robinson forfeit that we had at the beginning. Zack Sabre Jr., even though the life was, beaten out of him, still produced an 88, and Bandido with a 77. There was very little drama in this match, as no one had the psychology to control it properly, so that got a 76. Not the best. Anyone fatigued? Yeah, Bandido's fatigued. Cool, and Zack Sabre Jr. was holding back. Fine. This is why I wanted the week break, because originally it was going to be Saturday Collision, and then Sunday week 4 May would be the All-In Grand Prix Final, and because of this fatigue, we just can't do that. We need to give everyone a rest. So most people will just be promoing for the next week or so. Just a heads up. But yeah, Bandido getting his first physical win with a little bit of help from Keith Lee. Following this, though, we have got, oh my goodness, a 95. In a bout that had superb wrestling and great heat, Bryan Danielson defeats Prince Devitt. Prince Devitt, who recently got back-to-back wins. We thought, new guys come out of this, but he can't overcome our current World Light Heavyweight Champion, Bryan Danielson, as he wins by submission with the cattle mutilation. A 95 definitely carried by Bryan Danielson here with a 94 performance. Prince Devitt with a 79. Prince Devitt's kind of been a little underwhelming. He puts in the matches, but he somehow gets this, but, doesn't really do much else. The only penalisation, is that a word? Is from the odd face and heel combination, because I believe they are both faces. But yeah, a great win for Bryan. I think does Bryan end on double figures now, or is it 9 points? It's 9 points or double figures, but a really slow start for Bryan, but he's definitely picked up the pace towards the end, especially because he does have a confirmed match for the Grand Prix Final against Daniel Garcia. And following this, Daniel Garcia jumps Bryan Danielson post-match. He comes in through the crowd. Mercedes Moné is there to, distract Brie Garcia, hold her back. And Garcia just kind of kicks the shit out of Bryan Danielson, grabs the World Light Heavyweight title, which previously was Daniel Garcia's, and just holds it up, letting the world know that this is what Daniel Garcia foresees at the All In Grand Prix Final. Will he overcome Bryan Danielson? I mean, he's done it once before. Can he do it again? Actually, he's done it more than once before, I believe. Just not directly pinning Bryan, because there was that fatal four-way, we're not WWE, the four-way match with Adam Cole. Remember him? And Roderick Strong. I need to check in on Adam Cole, see how he's doing. But yeah, good little segment here. 77, not the best, but Daniel Garcia came out of it looking good. But Bryan was the real start. Yeah, the usual. Back to in-ring action though, I believe. And we have got Pac and Nick Jackson, in a cool 90. In a bout that had superb wrestling and good heat. It's a draw. Pac and Nick Jackson draw in their final matches when the time limit expired after 20 minutes. 90 rated performance from Pac and 87 from Nick Jackson. And yeah, not too bad. Pac, of course, kind of embroiled in a mini rivalry with the other members of Death Triangle. We're going to have to see what happens in between them, hopefully on Collision or at a later date. Nick Jackson, kind of having a very wishy-washy tournament. He's had some really good performances, but hasn't been able to get those wins. And once again, hasn't been able to get the win. But at least this time he didn't lose. And in a 90 rated match nonetheless, Nick Jackson has really come on leaps and bounds as a single star, because once again, Matt Jackson is still nowhere to be seen after suffering a horrific beatdown at Blood and Guts all those months ago. Following on from this match, I should say, we've got another one, obviously, and it is Hangman Adam Page and Roosh in a 90. Go on, Roosh. An 8-minute 90 rated match. And in another bout that had superb wrestling, because that's all we do in AEW, and great heat. Hangman Adam Page ends the tournament with a win. Someone who has been hugely underwhelming in this tournament. He defeats Roosh in 8:44 with a buckshot lariat. Hangman with a 92, Roosh with a 78. I think Roosh is heavily fatigued, so yeah, he is very deserving of a rest. And to be fair, the rating was capped due to the short match length, meaning what could it have been if we went over 10 minutes? Wow. But Roosh is definitely someone who has just gone up in the world in my eyes. I've always been a big fan of him, but during the Grand Prix, he has impressed massively. He's someone that I wasn't sure about including him alongside a few other people. But I'm very, very happy to see, what Roosh has done. I think he got a 99, didn't he? Was that with Kenny or Moxley? It was with one of them. Yeah, he's a baller. And he is 1/3 of our Trios champions. Will they be defending their belt at the Grand Prix Final? We'll have to wait and see. But a 90 rated match, you love to see it. So let's see what can top this. I mean, we got a 95 already, but you know what I mean. An 87, close. This obviously in real life would be insane. It's kind of like the former Jake Roberts people, because Will Ospreay at one point was with Jake Roberts and Lance Archer, but they've kind of gone their separate ways. Will Ospreay's become a lot more focused on himself in the last couple of weeks and months, whereas Drew Galloway, after sitting through his suspension, has now, just become this beast of a man. And as you can see here, a bout that had superb wrestling again, Drew Galloway gets the win against Will Ospreay with the Claymore kick in 17:48. During the match, though, Jake Roberts attacked Will Ospreay. You don't really see that much from Jake Roberts, but he had to get involved. It looked like Ospreay was getting the upper hand, and I think Roberts wanted Galloway to end this tournament on a high. And Galloway has done so. That is one loss for Drew Galloway, who has equaled he's got the second best record. If Kenny Omega obviously wins later on tonight, then he will have the second best record. But Walter with undefeated numbers, and Drew Galloway with just that one loss against Walter himself. So yeah, huge tournament for Drew Galloway. He's definitely a star, a main event player. The same with Will Ospreay. we're just creating the biggest and best main event scene thanks to this tournament. But unfortunately, Will Ospreay does not end his tournament with a win. After this match, though, we have got Miro and Juice Robinson. You could probably call this the toilet break match, if you're being honest. But in the bout that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, it is Miro that ends his tournament with a win. He makes Juice Robinson tap with the game over. Miro with an 87. Someone, again, who's been putting in the numbers, but just not been consistent enough with those wins. So hopefully Miro can turn whatever he's got out of this into something special when the tournament does end next week in the final. But Juice Robinson as well has put in some really good performances. He missed the first few nights due to injury, which we didn't even know about, or Tony Khan didn't know about. But he's pulled off some big wins, Juice Robinson has. He should be really proud of himself because, again, he's someone that we took a risk on. Him, Roosh, I'd probably say Darby Allin, Bandido. They're definitely people that have surprised us in this tournament, and I'm glad that we included those people. Following on from this match, so Miro ending with a win, we have got an angle. So MJF has come down to ringside. He is not in the crowd for this one, and him and Steph are stood either side of Sting because in recent weeks or in recent nights, Sting has got involved once or twice in Darby Allin's matches, and MJF wants to make sure that his broski, Matt Cardona, does not suffer the same consequence. So Sting kind of being cornered by MJF and Steph DeLander, leaving Darby Allin and Matt Cardona in the ring to have a really fair match. So, I got a hiccup then. So, yeah, good work from MJF, good thinking, and Steph, of course, is always great. And, Sting is just being watched by MJF and Steph. So, the next match, if you couldn't tell, is Darby Allin taking on Matt Cardona. Another person, Matt Cardona, who has gone above and beyond my expectations. Let's see if he can do it one final time. And about that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Yes, it is. Matt Cardona gets the win. He defeats Darby Allin in 17 minutes with the Rough Rider. Matt Cardona with an 81 performance. Darby with an 83. That's pretty good. Darby took a stunt bump during this match as well. So yeah, a bit of a chaotic one this match was. Went 17 minutes, so Darby is not one to shy away from a long match because, he's got that never say die, never give up persona. And Matt Cardona has just been fantastic since joining AEW. Definitely one of my favourite members of the roster right now. So you can expect some really fun, big things coming from him and MJF and Steph DeLander, of course. But Matt Cardona ending the tournament with a win. Doing very well. I think that ends him on 8 points, and I think Darby Allin finishes on 5 or 3. I don't know. Darby Allin hasn't had the best of luck, but he did enter this tournament thanks to a Battle Royale win. So he definitely earned his place, whereas everyone else was kind of handed their place. So big up Darby Allin. He's done incredible during this tournament. After this, though, we're coming up to the main event. I don't know when, but we are coming up to it. Oh, here it is now. Oh, a 90. Whoa, go on. In a superb match. Close your eyes, guys. You don't want to be spoiled just yet. Oh, fuck it, you've already seen it. Kenny Omega gets the win. He defeats Jeff Cobb in 13 minutes with the one-winged angel. And as you can see here, the Block B tournament has now finished, and Kenny Omega is the winner. The reason why this didn't pop up for Volta is because the Juice Robinson forfeits, you can't list that as a forfeit until the tournament's over, because we would just have to remove him and give everyone auto wins. Unless there was another way around it that I've missed, but I will make sure that change is effective, meaning that Volta does get that win. But yeah, Kenny Omega is our Block B winner. With an in-ring performance of 93 in a 90-rated match. Jeff Cobb is 73. Cobb, I think, was dying from fatigue. Yes. So penalised for fatigue and the face and heel combination. So what could have been if Cobb was, definitely on form and also fit. But that is how we end the show. Kenny Omega wins. Let's just follow this with a post-show segment. Renee comes out to congratulate Kenny. Of course, Volta was already the winner. And he just says, Volta, my eyes are focused on you and you alone. Next Sunday, me and you, one-on-one, Grand Prix Final, and I will win. I will make history by being the first man to pin you in singles action. Because remember, a few nights ago, I pinned you in the exhibition match. If I can do it once, I can do it again. So best believe that Kenny Omega is heading straight for the top. And that is how we end night 12. Kenny Omega. You know, finally, I feel like Kenny Omega has really not done anything crazy as a single star. He's been embroiled in elite-related feuds and then Golden Lover-related feuds. I mean, there's still a Golden Lover feud going right now. Hangman Page and Bandido still, you know, have their tag team match that they're going to have at some point. But Kenny right now is laser focused on challenging and defeating Volta, if he can, in our main event that is now confirmed for the All In Grand Prix Final. So let's finish the show. Look at that beautiful 91 rated show. Looking at all of these awesome matches, like incredible. The fact that we can get a really high rating and not rely on like crazy promos. Obviously, we've got some good promos. We've got 94, a 199. But like the matches themselves, 90, 87, 90, 90, 95, 88. You know, really, really good matches. Even the ones in the 80s are perfect. Like, can't go wrong. So let's just take a look now. I'm going to have to get it up. Bear with me one moment. Look at the final standings for the tournament. And here we are. You can see them both in a yellowy gold. Block A, Zack Sabre Jr. is obviously on his 10 points now. Top of the block from pretty much day one. Volta with 18 points, undefeated. Kenny Omega has got one of the biggest challenges ahead of him in that final. Second place, Drew Galloway, exceptional performances. So good from him. Third, Will Ospreay. Zack then followed by Zack Sabre Jr. CM Punk finishing on 9 points. Matt Cardona with a very impressive 8. Miro pulling it back in the last few weeks with 7. Juice and Bandido sitting on 4 points. And Darby Allin, poor guy, sitting on 3 points. Heading over to Block B, where it's a lot more competitive. Kenny Omega sits at the top. He gets that final day win, allowing him to finish at the top with 16 points. Jon Moxley, again, only suffering one loss throughout the whole tournament, which was against Kenny Omega, finishing on 15 points. Keith Lee, again, you know, he's lost a few matches during this tournament. One via countout, another one via, you know, Zack Sabre Jr. having to get involved. So Keith Lee hasn't had the best of luck in terms of his losses, but our international champion has just killed it. He's been incredible. Bryan as well, super slow start, but he come out of nowhere these last few weeks and has been killing it. The same with Pac. Both him and Pac were a little bit slow to start at the beginning, but they both ramped it up towards the end. The same with Hangman Page and Prince Devitt. They were both sitting on 2 points for the longest time, but in recent weeks they pulled it out of the bag. Roosh as well has been a surprise package. He may not look like he's done well, but he has put in some incredible matches. The same with Nick Jackson as well. He's gone above and beyond what you would expect from the former, you know, best tag team wrestler in the world, is now one of the best singles wrestlers in AEW. And then Jeff Cobb at the bottom, who I think has probably been the most underwhelming entrant during this tournament, which is such a shame because he started off so strong. He was doing so well, but something just didn't click, and then that continued for the longest time. But just to confirm it, I've made a very simple graphic. Here is our Grand Prix Final. Volta, Kenny Omega. One of these men will be our first ever AEW All-In Grand Prix champion and will book their place in the main event of AEW All Out later this year. And I'm going to end the show on this graphic. So thank you very much for watching, guys. The next episode will be Collision. The episode after that might be a Dynamite Collision combo. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to have to look at our schedule. But in 2 to 3 episodes time, we will have the All-In Grand Prix Final, where we will see who wins out of these two men. Thank you very much for watching, though. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed booking these 12 nights. It's not over yet. We've still got the final, and we've still got a flurry of matches to confirm for that event. But yeah, in the meantime, though, please like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know who you think is taking the Grand Prix trophy and heading to All Out. Yeah, that's it. I'm very excited, and I hope you guys are too. But with that, I will leave you there, and I will see you all in the next one.